Hey guys, welcome back to the Foolish Show. Of course, I am Foolish Phil. Michigan just wrapped up their regular season in the Big Ten, losing 79 to 62. And as many of my writers responded to me saying they thought Michigan would just get obliterated, completely happened. Michigan has just been a complete funk, trash basketball going on for the last a month or something like that. The last 8 games have been pretty poor. It really all started back with the Michigan State game the first time around, and their scheme and their aggressiveness really crushed Michigan, and then Michigan hasn't been able to recover from it. Similarly, in this game, Michigan just had a worthless game again. The only person who really played well would be Vlad Golden. He had 29 points. You might say Danny Wolf, he had 18. Yeah, but he was a complete ghost in the first half again. Seems to be a new storyline with Wolf where he will just be non-aggressive, passive, worthless in the first half. I think he had 2 points on free throws or something like that. That was it. Then he turns it on in the second half. Yeah, Michigan's down 22 points. Way to turn it on when the game's over. Now, I'm not going to put a ton of blame on Wolf. He at least scored 18 points. Really, you look at the scoring here, the big difference. Well, the guard play for sure. But let's look at the bench. Pippen scored 2 free throws at the end of the game, token ones, where Michigan State fouled him intentionally. So before that, Michigan State was outscoring Michigan's bench 32 to 3. 32 to 3. Cheddar had 0 points. Trey Donaldson, 2 points. Obviously, he's not a bench player, but Trey Donaldson had 2. Gale had 1. Burnett had 5. Jones had 2. I'm trying to see here if maybe Cheddar had 3. I don't know. Maybe I mistook that because my note says 3 too. But nothing significant whatsoever amongst all those guys. You needed your guards to play better. You needed everyone to contribute. And again, only had 2 players do anything. And again, Wolf only did stuff in the second half. It was expected. I would totally expected Michigan State to be playing free and easy and obliterate Michigan because they had gone to Ann Arbor and defeated Michigan in what was supposed to be a tightly contested game. And now this game was just a coronation of Michigan State. They won the Big Ten title regular season outright, and they got to celebrate that at home. And yeah, they played great. They are just playing excellent. I think it was a person on Twitter, I'm not going to say X, the person on Twitter was saying, RC, Michigan State fan, was saying that their season's over after I believe they lost, maybe it's the Indiana game or something. They lost a game they shouldn't have lost. And he's like, I don't see us winning another game. You know what they did? They won. They cleared the board. They won 7 straight games after that. And they are just playing like peak team here. And they should be a heavy favorite to win, at least make it quite far in the March Madness, depending, of course, how the brackets all break down. So, let's get back to Michigan a little bit here. Again, the bench was worthless. Trey was worthless. Jones was worthless. Gale was worthless. Cheddar was a ghost. Wolf was a ghost in the first half. You got Vlad Golden. So you got Vlad Golden and you got a half of Danny Wolf. Oh, what's this team going to do? I don't know. At least they have something to think about. They got the double bye in the Big Ten. Oh, they secured. They have the 3rd spot in the Big Ten standings now. They still get a double bye for what that's worth. That means you get more rest because I still think this team is just so starving for options off the bench. There's no real rest. You have Cheddar go out there and just get fouls all the time. Then Vlad has to come back in. Wolf is just a turnover machine. Oh, yeah. You just need a better bench. I thought Michigan was going to have a better bench to start the season when you had Kaysen and Pippen and Fat Brooks and such were playing meaningful minutes to start the year. I know they got in, for the blowout at the end, but I really think, Dusty May is going to have to just figure out what to do with his bigs because maybe Wolf comes back. I believe Vlad's a senior. So, yeah, he did senior day, I believe, yeah. So, what are you going to do? I don't know. You got to try to get guys either recruit, which doesn't seem to be much of anything for Michigan recruiting bigs, or the portal. So, I don't know. But looking back to this year, I know there's two sides to this. One side is Michigan was picked to finish, I believe, 9th, and they finished 3rd in the Big Ten. So, a big improvement on where they were picked to finish. Great. But you also have the deflation of the season, what could have been. Michigan was in first place or tied for first place, whatever you want to say, for a good chunk of the season. And they were then contention. And then this end of the season just completely fell apart on them. And it's disappointing to think what could have been, but they didn't get it done. So how do you see this season? Do you see it as a season half full or half empty? Great, what a big turnaround here. Maybe Coach May wins Coach of the Year. I mean, he took the worst team in the Big Ten last year and made them to the number 3 seed. Huge turnaround. Totally get that. Or do you see it as the negative side where Michigan was in contention to win the Big Ten, and over the last 7-8 games they just completely sucked? Which way do you look at it? Hey guys, as expected, Michigan State rolls Michigan. The game ended, of course, with a little scuffle at midcourt. I think it's a silly thing. Michigan shouldn't have been doing that. It's just a little childish thing that goes on between these two teams. It happens on the football field. It happens now at the basketball. You just watch. The Big Ten will give both teams a $100,000 fine. That's what they seems to be the remedy all the time now. But what do you think about Michigan? Half full, like good season, it's a building block year, or is this half empty, like just a train wreck into the year? And is this, try not to be pessimistic, but probably lose the first round in the Big Ten tournament game? I wouldn't be surprised if they lose the first round in March Madness. I wouldn't be surprised. I just don't see them having the depth to make a long run. Now, I do know the announcers were saying when it was the Michigan-Maryland game that Maryland has no bench whatsoever either, and that they might be helped by the March Madness extended timeouts, right? I think normal timeouts are a minute and a half, 2 minutes. March Madness ones are by far much longer than that, probably 4 to 5 minutes. They're trying to jam commercials in there, right? So maybe they'll help Michigan a little bit, but we shall see. If you have any comments, put them in the box below. I'll try to respond as I'm able to. Until I see you guys next time, as always, go Blue.